You do a test 1, 2.
Test 1, 2, 794. I'm a redneck from Alabama. That's how I count.
You got it. We're good. All right. Welcome back, and thanks for tuning in on Salina's True Rock Station 95.5 The Rock. I'm joined now in studio by Bo Bice. Bo is going to be performing live tonight at the Paramount, 8:30 sharp. Should be one hell of a show. We encourage all of you to get down there and take advantage. Already heard a lot of pre-sale going on. You know, the space down there at Paramount is limited, so if you want to get there, you better get there early to see Bo tonight. Bo, welcome into the studios, brother.
Thank you, Maury. I appreciate it, man. I heard you say, you know, better go out there and take advantage. You're not talking about taking advantage of me, are you?
Well, hey, man.
I'm sensitive, man.
I cannot say anything for our listeners. They're crazy. They're crazy. Anything can happen, brother. You're at the Paramount.
I'm going to have to wear my Iron Maiden, my mace, man, my Iron Maiden layup. You know what I mean? I'm going to be dressed in all get out tonight.
Make sure to bring your chastity belt along, brother. Your wife appreciate that, I'm sure.
I'm sure. We got 4 kids. I lost my chastity. See that? You notice that.
Right on. Well, your career has taken, you know, a number of turns here from where you got started to where you are now, Bo. So, you're starting off, we'll finish off where you left off at American Idol, finish it runner up there to Carrie Underwood. That was when you got your start really into the recording business, from what I understand. Just talk a little bit about how it's changed for you from where you started to where you are now.
Well, you know, man, I've been blessed now. You know, I started playing shows when I was about 15 years old, when I was living in England and started my band. And it kind of progressed when I got back to the States. I started a band that was more full-time and then played acoustics. And I had a couple of CDs out before I went on American Idol. So I had some, you know, I guess experience in the studio, but you know, nothing as quite what I was going to get into when I went on the show. And after American Idol, which I'm obviously very, very happy for my success there, and you know, falling second to Carrie Underwood hasn't been a curse for me per se, but I think in many ways a blessing, because I've been able to still go out and do what I love to do, which is, you know, producing music. I started my own label about 7 years ago, and right after I got dropped from RCA, I said, you know what, man, there's only one way to keep getting dropped from your label. That's to start your own label. And then I figured out after I started hiring a GM to GM my label that I could get fired from my label. So that backfired on me, but I haven't gotten fired yet. But now I got somebody that keeps me in line, and but that's what I do. That's really a passion that I've had, is producing music, producing other acts, and helping to bring people up through the ranks, just like I had people before Idol. But really, man, my stay on Idol, that 10 months I was there, it was boot camp in the best way to be able to teach you how to, you know, mold yourself into, you know, being on that next level. And so, you know, not just now 4 studio albums after Idol, but the other albums that I've worked on and written, songs I've written, and different projects I've worked on for other people. That's kind of what drives me now, man. I get to go out and play Bo Bice and jump around on stage, but what really cranks my tractor is getting in there in the studio and you know, bringing the next round of successful musicians up.
Being able to do it your way while at the same time being able to make a living out of it is something that not a lot of musicians are able to do. So very cool that you're able to stick to your guns and bring your own style to it and still make it marketable for the people out there. And, you know, especially if you're running your own label, you got to keep the GM happy at the same time, brother.
Well, it is, and you know, that's the other thing. I think we've seen such a transition in the past decade, more than any. You know, I remember sitting back there in about 2005, 2003, 2004, 2005, thinking, wow, you know, this the whole little iTunes thing's pretty cool and doing all right. The Apple things, you know, it's 2005 is when the iPhone came out. Mm-hmm. You know, and so really we look at how music has changed and how the demographic of music's changed. And you know, I never thought in a million years I'd get dropped from a label for selling, you know, 850,000 copies of a record, and they say, yeah, man, great job, here's your walking papers, you know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, you don't make a million, you don't get to stay in the nice hotel room, you know? So, but, you know, I could have very easily been the jaded, bitter musician, which I'd be lying to you if I said it didn't, you know, hurt my feelings. I wasn't upset, I didn't get depressed about it, but, you know, I picked myself up from my bootstraps and decided to move on. And you hit on it, man. What really drove me more than anything, I think, is just my passion to put out the music that I love. Mm-hmm. And then I was able to get through that stubborn kind of stage of, it's got to be my music, I've got to write on this, I've got to do this, I've got to produce, I've got to do all that, because I have proven I was more trying to prove it to myself than I was everybody else out there. And once I finally kind of proved it to myself and let go, brought somebody in to manage the label, I think my music became a lot more focused. And so now, since then, I've got See the Light, and we have Bo Bice 3. This new project that we have is called New Soul Revival. And all of these I've been able to produce on them and write on them, but also I've been able to step outside the box and kind of be comfortable to high wire act this thing and put out stuff that I like, and if fans dig it, they dig it, and if they don't have to buy it. That's what's great about this country, man.
You're being you.
That's right. So it's it really is. It's a place that now, especially out here, doing radio tours and doing these acoustic shows like I'm doing this week. When you're out promoting an album and a new project, you never really know what people are really thinking, and I think I've stepped out of the box since the Real Thing was more pop, See the Light was more southern rock, 3 was more right down the kind of country road for me, and then New Soul Revival has got a few gospel kind of tunes like I Fly Away, Circle Be Unbroken, Hard Times Come Again No More, and then I also wrote some tunes on there that are just an example of my faith and my walk with Christ, and not something to shove down people's throats and say, do you know Jesus? It's like, I'm just out here, it's like people say, well, man, why'd you do this Christian thing? And I'm like, well, I think it's, everybody's kind of known I'm a Christian ever since I was on the show and everything, and well, what's the deal with putting like Circle Be Unbroken? Well, the reason I put Circle Be Unbroken on there is because I sang it with Willie Nelson, and Willie Nelson, he does it almost every show. It's like you got to convince people. You tell them, it's like when I was on the show, it was so funny because I remember right after I'd come up, and there would always be that one guy that was like, he only showed up because his girlfriend brought him, and he's like mad at me because of it, and he's like, I hated American Idol. Well, man, sorry, I don't have any residuals. I can give you back money on that. Yeah, I just don't like anything to do with it. I was like, well, do you like Leonard Skinner? Man, I love Leonard Skinner. Well, they played on American Idol finale with me. No way! And then it's kind of like, oh, you're automatically, now you're cool. You got
to educate your would-be fans.
Right, you gotta learn them up, So, but that really is more than anything. I think I'm just enjoying now to have the freedom to do what I like, and also wear that more as a badge of honor instead of as maybe how I did at first right after I got dropped from the label. I think it was more of a, look what I can do, and if you're not looking, I'm going to make sure to make a big enough ruckus to get your attention. And so now it's just, man, being a dad, being a husband, and a mentor to folks, that's what drives me now.
It's all very cool stuff. Now, folks, you can pick up that new album. It's New Soul Revival, right, Bo?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Get out there and grab it. And tonight, you're going to have a chance to see Bo Bice performing live at the Paramount Bar. Jade Hopkins going to open for that show coming up at 8:30 this evening. What are people going to get to see when they come out and see you tonight, Bo?
Well, when I'm out doing these kind of radio tour things, it's for me, it's always nice because I get to be like the storyteller. And some of the times I might be playing some Bo Bice tunes. I try to play a little bit from each album that I've got, and tell a few stories about how the song was written or recorded, but then I also play some covers, that are just covers that I've always loved to play, some John Prine and some Jamie Johnson, and things like that. And so it's really more of a laid-back kind of show. You're going to get, we'll rock your face off for a bit, but it's more of a storyteller environment, and get to kind of really interact with the crowd. And that's what I love to do, because this is where I started it all, sitting on a bar stool and playing for tips, and then I just kind of moved on up, and luckily I'm not playing for tips anymore. It's gotten a little bit better, but I am blessed, and it'd be amiss if I didn't say that it's because of all the fans. It truly is. It's not, Bo Bice is just a guy that's out here singing, and the Lord's blessed me with so much. But I'll tell you something, I can just as easily sit at home and sing, and nobody gives it a doggone. So it's the fans that truly, they're what motivate us to keep out there, and they get on the website bobice.com, and they keep us Twittering with us and Facebooking and all that, and it's just it's great to have that kind of camaraderie with your what I will call fans, but they become our family.
That's very cool, folks. Don't want to remind you one more time, 8:30 tonight, Paramount Bar. Bo Bice performing live. Jade Hopkins going to open for that show. Bo, really want to thank you for taking the time out of your day to come over here and visit with us before the show tonight, brother.
Thank you, my man, and we'll be seeing y'all again soon. Don't worry about it.